Welcome to my nightmare. Hi. As you can tell by the title, I'll be reviewing none other than Freddy versus Jason. This is actually my first live movie I'm reviewing here, and yeah. This movie, I do like this movie. I'm not really a big fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies or Friday the 13th movies. Actually, I'll tell you a little history about them. My history with these characters. As for Nightmare on Elm Street, I never actually got into it. I never actually seen any of the movies. I seen one episode of the TV series. I think it's called Freddy's Nightmares, and it involved about some girl going into a basement, and that actually scared me so much that for years I was actually scared to go in the basement. It scared me so much that I was afraid to go in the basement. And I think maybe that's why I never watched one of Freddy Krueger's movies, because that one episode scared me so much that I wanted to stay away from Freddy Krueger altogether. And yeah, so and as for Friday the 13th movies, I've actually seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, Jason X, and this one, obviously, Freddy vs. Jason. I've seen parts of other ones. I've seen, especially the Jason Goes to Hell one. I've seen parts of it. I've never actually seen the whole thing of that one. I would like to see all of them eventually, but yeah. As for the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I don't know. Maybe one day, but not really. I don't know. Yeah, so that's kind of my little history on the franchise. Anyways, I guess I can tell you what the story's about. Before I tell you what the story's about, I'm going to warn anybody who's watching this. If you haven't seen this movie and you do want to check it out, I would not watch this video, because I'm going to be giving a lot of spoilers about this movie. I'm going to be saying a lot of stuff, and so I just want to warn you now, whoever's watching, that if you haven't seen this movie, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this video. So anyways, we start off with a story where Freddy Krueger is talking about his, I think it's his history about him killing people and stuff, and they actually show you clips from the previous Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and yeah, so it's basically clips of the past Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but he's saying he's stuck in hell or something, and so he decides to resurrect Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th movies to do his killing for him, because I guess if he wants people like the kids to remember who he is, because I guess it's been so long since Freddy Krueger has been around that everybody's forgotten about him, and the people that do remind him, which I get into later, and so he wants Jason to go kill all these people, so they'll think that it's actually him, and people start thinking that it's him that's doing it. Like, he wants him to go kill people on Elm Street. Yeah, so, so he goes to kill them. Jason goes to kill these people. And we actually get introduced to some of the main characters. So I can't remember who the names are. I'm just checking who the names are. We get introduced to Laurie Campbell, Will Rollins, Kia Watterson. Right, I guess Laurie, Will, Kia, and I guess Charlie, I guess. Yeah. No. What am I doing? Okay, I got to do it. No, we get introduced to Laurie, Kia. Okay, so I'm just trying to. And Gib, and these two boys that I guess yeah. So they're basically at their house just talking and doing teenage stuff, like drinking and whatever, and yeah, and I'm trying to think. And then Jason comes in. He ends up killing this one guy in bed, like stabs him with his machete, and folds the bed up, and he's actually broken. Well, broken. Well, yeah, I guess he is broken. Yeah, he's like bent in half and whatever, and then they find him and they yell and blah blah blah, and so then the police are starting to think, okay, is this Freddy? Is he returned? And yeah, and that's what they're thinking, and then the one girl, Lori, she's starting to realize she starts to, okay, what's going on, and she has this weird dream, and yeah. And then the other kid that was at this party or whatever, he gets killed by Jason, and yeah. And actually, Freddy tries to kill him, but I guess he's not strong enough, because I guess not enough people are starting to remember him. Like, it is starting to remember. Like, people are starting to think, okay, who is this guy? So, and that's why actually the parents and the kid, or yeah, the parents and the police want the kids not to do. They don't want them to remember Freddy, or the same thing is going to happen again. Like, I guess it happened in Nightmare on Elm Street. So then they I've never reviewed a movie like this. Yeah, so the one guy gets killed and his father and whatever, and by Jason. Okay. Yeah. And these two guys, they break out of this, I guess this institution, Will and Charlie, I think. That's his name. And they want to basically, they're trying to figure out what's going on, and yeah. So, anyways, it's kind of weird. This is hard to explain. This kind of movie. There's so much stuff happens in this movie that, yeah. So, anyways, Jason's killing people. He kills a bunch of people at a party and everything, and then this one girl, what's her? I think I just said her name. Gib. Gib. She gets drunk and ends up passing out, I guess, and she ends up dreaming about Freddy Krueger, and so he's going after her, but she's trying to escape. Yeah, she's trying to escape from him, and then she hides in this, like, I guess looks like a locker, and Freddy rips the door off, and he's about to kill her, but all of a sudden blood squirts at him and at Freddy, and we find out that he was actually Jason just killed him, or killed her. Well, actually, it's two guys, a guy that was on whatever, and Jason kills her, and Freddy's really mad now, because he's getting mad because this is not what he wanted. He wanted to be remembered so he could start killing again, but Jason is doing all this stuff for him, and he did not want Jason to do all the killing, and so yeah. So anyways, they find out about yeah, they find out about all what's going on, I guess, and they find out about this drug that keeps them awake, called Hypnocil, and and they go to get it, but then the one guy, and this is actually a really funny part, this one guy, I guess he's like on some, I guess it's high or whatever, on drugs or something, but then Freddy Krueger is like this worm or centipede kind of thing. It's kind of weird, but then he ends up taking over the guy's body, and the guy's drunk, dumping all the pills down the drain, and to stop people from falling, because he wants people to fall asleep. and then the police officer that was helping him gets killed by Jason, and then Freddy decides to like because I guess Freddy Krueger is able to sort of come into the real world by possessing someone, and that's what he's doing, and he knocks out Jason with these like big needles of something, and And so what the reason he did that is because he wants to kill Jason in his dreams. So you actually see Jason and Freddy fighting in the dream world, and it's kind of weird too. And you can see that Freddy's overpowering Jason because obviously Freddy Krueger is very powerful in the dream world. And so anyways, so the kids have a plan that, because what had to end up happening just before that, or when they're at the house before they went to go get the institution, before they go there, they find out that the one girl, Lori, could pull Freddy Krueger out because she pulls his ear off during the dream, and yeah, and so they have this set up to have, I guess, to pull maybe Freddy Krueger into the real world, so maybe they could fight him or whatever, and I guess they're going to go to Crystal Lake, and yeah. So they're in this van, and the one girl is sort of like Freddy Krueger's busy fighting with Jason, with this girl is trying to, I guess, get hold of Jason, find a way to get hold of Jason, or not Jason, Freddy, to pull him into the real world, and yeah. But what ends up happening, the van that they have Jason in crashes, and I guess that forces Jason to wake up. And so Freddy gets really mad that Jason has woken up, and he turns all red and everything. I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm not quite sure if that's from the movie or well, whatever. So he's really mad, and the girl attacks him, pulls him into the dream world. Well, actually, no. What ends up happening is they're at the cabin in Crystal Lake, and they're trying to get away from Jason. But then the cabin goes on fire, and that wakes up the girl, and she's able to pull Jason into the real world. And so Freddy and Jason start fighting even more in the real world, and like it's just kind of a weird fight. Yeah. It's just they're fighting and everything, and then they kill everybody except for Lori and Will, and yeah, and so they end up fighting. Then this big explosion happens because Lori puts gasoline on everything, and it blows up the thing, and yeah, and then Freddy Krueger's about to, I guess, kill the two remaining people, Lori and Will, and he's about to, but then Jason comes behind him and stabs him right through with his own glove. Freddy's about to kill the two human, Lori and Will, with the machete, but then Jason comes up behind him and stabs him right through his body with his own knife glove. But then Jason falls into the water, and then Lori picks up the machete, and she chops off Freddy Krueger's head, and you're thinking that's the end of Freddy Krueger. So then Lori and Will go off to wherever, and yeah. And then we find out at the end, spoiler alert once again, we find out that Jason did survive. We thought he might have died after he fell into the water, but yeah. And we see him holding Freddy's head, and then we're thinking, okay, Jason wins, but we actually see Freddy Krueger wink at the camera, and then the movie's over. Whew, okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So anyways, that's the whole story. And like I said, I actually like it. I like the movie. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of either. I might want to. Yeah, and actually, the thing with I forgot to say, the thing with Friday the 13th movies is when I first seen them, they actually scared me a lot, and it took me a long time to get over them, and then I kind of got back into them. But I don't know. Yeah, but I really like this movie. I actually found out about this movie in 2001, and that this movie was being made, and yeah, and then it was a few years later, and actually this movie was made in 2003. It finally got released after 10 years. Yes, they were working on this according to what. Actually, according to the extras on this DVD, they were working on for 10 years right after Jason Goes to Hell. Because if you know, at the end of that movie, Freddy Krueger comes and grabs his masks, and I think at the time they said there was only a joke or something, but then, well, I'm not quite sure, but they were working on this for so long, and yeah, but it finally got made in 2003, and yes, it's been 10 years, which actually surprised me when I found out that this movie is actually 10 years old this year. I think it turned 10 years old at the beginning of the year, I think. Yeah, so, yeah. What can I say about it? Like I said, I like it. It's neat to see how, I guess you could see the two franchises come together. I know some people are disappointed that it moves too fast, but you know, I liked it. It's better than what they had. What originally one thing they had, I think it's on the extras on here. It's if you don't mind reading stuff on screen, there's a really good thing on here that basically you could read the whole thing about this script rewrites they went through for 10 years. And one of the things that really stuck with the script for a very long time are this team of Fred heads that were going to resurrect Freddy, and yeah, and actually connect it even more with Friday the 13th movies. But I don't know if that'd be a good idea or not, but yeah, I'm just glad that I'm just glad this movie got made. I don't, they kind of left it open for a sequel, which I do hope they do one day, but I don't know, because with the remake of Friday the 13th having a sequel coming out whenever, and A Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. With those two franchises, I can't really see a sequel happening anytime soon, unfortunately. I'd like to, but I don't know. I don't know. I know there's been comic books, and there's even a fan film that's sort of a sequel where they team up with Ash from the Evil Dead movies, but yeah, I don't know. I'd just like to see a sequel, and if not, the movie's fine the way it is, I guess. But I would like to see a sequel eventually. So that's Freddy vs. Jason. I guess I could tell you some of the stuff about it. We'll go to Wikipedia. As you know, Freddy Krueger is played by Robert Englund for the last time. In case some of you don't know, he actually plays Freddy Krueger for the last time in this. And then some guy named Ken Kersinger plays as Jason, because I heard that they wanted to get I guess some people were wondering why didn't they get Kane Hodder, I think his name is, who's the most famous Jason. But the thing is, he's shorter than Robert Englund, and yeah, I don't know. I can't really say, because yeah, I mean, it seems he did okay. Whoever. Okay, I guess some of the actors, we have Robert Englund, Monica Keena as Laurie, Jason Ritter, who is the late John Ritter's son, Kelly Rowland, who's from the group Destiny's Child. I'm not quite sure who, and the rest I don't know. Don't know who the rest is. Oh, okay. Oh, it sounds like they've been working on it longer than before Jason Goes to Hell. They actually started working on the movie in 1997. Well, actually, they wanted to do one, but at the time, I guess two different studios owned New Line and Paramount. Like, yeah. I guess they couldn't come to an agreement. I don't want to go into the whole crossover thing. We said there's a lot of stuff here. If you have the DVD, you could read about it. All about the crossover they've been working on for years, and there's even some extras, which I'll get to in a minute. I'm just trying to find some other stuff if I can. Oh yeah, there's actually did quite well in theaters. I actually remember when it came out in theaters. I think it was like number one 2 weeks in a row. I think, and then I think it dropped off to 7th place. But even in 7th place, it still made a lot of money. So a lot of people still went to go see it. Yeah, on its opening weekend, Freddy vs. Jason grossed $36 million. By November 9th of 2003, it grossed about $82.5 million in North America and just over $32 million in foreign sales. Yeah, I think it kind of gets mixed reviews about it. Yeah, like I know a lot of people like it, but there's also a lot of people that don't like it, and I think part of the reason why a lot of people don't like it is because of Freddy Krueger only kills one person. Like he tries to kill the one girl, but obviously he doesn't. But I think he ends up killing the one guy that knows a lot about this stuff, like about the dream world and everything. And he only gets to kill him, and then Freddy Krueger or Jason goes to kill everybody else. So I think that's one of the complaints that a lot of people don't like about it. For me, I guess the only my complaint would be about the only very very small complaint I would say about it is, as you know, as I said at the beginning, you get to see, I guess, a montage of the clips from the previous. From the previous Nightmare on Elm Street movies, so you get clips from a whole bunch of their movies. But the thing, with Jason, you don't get any of that. Yes, you get, I guess, some characters. You get his mother and whatever in the movie, but as for actual clips from the movie, you don't get any of that. So it's like, okay, you showed Freddy. That's fine. Actually, I didn't mind that, even though I'm not really into his movies. It's kind of neat to how it fits into the same continuity, but have no Jason clips in it is like, okay, that's, I suppose, maybe time constraints, but I don't know. But I just think it would have been, at least at the beginning, maybe right after Freddy Krueger's clips, they could have showed Jason's or something, and or when Jason wakes up and and Freddy Krueger disguises himself as Jason's mother, maybe they could have showed it during then, but I don't know. That's only my complaint, but it's only a small complaint, and overall, I still really like the movie. That's what I can find. I'm on IMDb. Okay. Okay, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that, I also seen the remake of Friday the 13th. I forgot to mention that. So I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, Jason X, and the remake of Friday the 13th. Yeah, so I've seen quite a few of them. Oh yeah, I think I meant, no, maybe I didn't mention it. One of the scenes, or one of the special features on here is you get the alternate ending. I actually don't like the ending. It's with Will and Laurie, and they're in bed, and then Will all of a sudden has Freddy Krueger claws, and it's like, okay. I just feel like, okay, did they really need to put that? I'm glad they didn't go with that ending, because I think I think the ending was perfect where it is, because it leaves it open, like, for a possible sequel. Okay, here's another ending. I'm just gonna read what IMDb said. I don't know how accurate IMDb is, but according to them, it says another ending that was considered had Freddy and Jason battling to the death on the dock. After the explosion, they end up in the fiery lake, and then something strange starts to happen. The water begins to move, churning, and the lake begins to drain. Within the water, there is a hole that has opened at the bottom of the lake bed, glowing red. Freddy tries to swim away, but Jason puts a death lock on his ankle, and they are both dragged down. The next day, Crystal Lake is completely dry, and Laurie is reunited with her father. Then they walk down into the lake. Dr. Campbell sees Freddy's claw on the ground, and he picks it up, vowing to destroy it for good. Then a red and green stripe arm bursts through the earth, grabs Dr. Campbell's leg, and pulls him down. With one leg buried in the ground, he screams for Laurie, but is yanked again, his other leg breaking against his chest at an impossible angle. Then he's gone. Laurie claws to the dirt for him screaming, and then there is a scene that takes place somewhere very dark. Freddy puts his claw back on his hand. He sees Jason near him and machete gleaming. They go at each other, but then chains shoot out, slicing into both of them. They're separated, struggling to go at each other, when out from the darkness comes Pinhead, and he says, "Now, what seems to be the problem?" However, New Line didn't like the idea because they didn't like the fact that they'd have to buy the rights to use the character, and they thought Pinhead was too low rent. In case you know Pinhead, I think he's from the Pinhead movies. I can't remember what movies he's from. I guess Pinhead. I guess I don't know. Yeah. So it's whatever. Yeah. Another ending. Then there was a similar ending considered in Hell that involved a shot of something sitting high atop a stone throne, only eyes at the tips of two horns visible in the darkness. Below it, Freddy and Jason battle in a gladiator-style pit, but the idea was also dropped. There's also another idea of a giant red hand coming out of Crystal Lake at the end of the film, grabbing both Freddy and Jason in one enormous palm and yanking them both down into hell. But that too was dumped. In the script's final draft, the epilogue ended with Freddy and Jason battling in a dark pit, surrounded by the eyes of 1,000 dark demons and 1,000,000 tortured souls. The writers wanted to suggest that the fight would continue for all eternity, but that idea was also dropped. Okay, according to this, it was the first Freddy movie not filmed in the United States. Because I think it was filmed in Canada. Let's see what's. Betsy Palmer, who played Jason's mother in previous Friday the 13th movies, was asked to reprise her role of Mrs. Pamela Voorhees, but turned it down because she felt the role was too small of a part for her. Which is understandable because she only has a small part, so yeah. Here's one. When the original script proved to be too long, I know I wasn't going to get into this, but I just want to get into some of this stuff. When the original script proved to be too long, the characters of Tommy Jarvis, from the fourth, I don't know if he's in the fifth one and the sixth one, and Kelly were eliminated. Jarvis was to have been played by Jason Bateman, okay, and Jenny to be played by Catherine Isabel. The producers felt Isabel had the makings of a scream queen with a horror-loaded resume, so her part was then switched with Lauren. Yeah, so it's been weird. Jason Bateman being in this movie. It's been very weird. I'm trying to look, see what uh, um oh yeah, like I said in the beginning, Freddy Krueger is a monologue of clips, and that's really my only complaint about this movie. That I just wish Jason would have had one as well. I guess it looks like there's also very like things that happen in the movies that happen in this. Um, Oh, and the drug hypnosis, which I kind of knew about this, is from the movie A Nightmare on Elm Street 3. New Line first attempted to make this film several times in the late 1980s, and they tried to team up with Paramount Pictures, but there was never an agreement made. Like I said, um, 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 One early version of the script called for the beginning of the film to take place in medieval times, while another called for the beginning to start out at Camp Crystal Lake, with Jason getting arrested. Okay. Another script was to have the beginning of the film take place at the eve of the millennium. That might have been okay. The eve of the millennium might be okay, but yeah, but that was stuff weird. I'm sorry, but I just want to read some of the stuff here. Um, yeah. During an interview before the movie's release, Ronnie Yu made a confusing comment stating that the film had a triple ending. Initially, most believed that the film had 3 different separate endings, and people would be able to see 3 different endings in theaters. Most likely one where Freddy wins, one where Jason wins, and a third where neither wins, aka a draw. This turned out not to be the case. As you know, I suppose what you could say is Jason did win the fight, but I don't think he won the war. um, um, it cost $25 million budget, and at the time, I don't know if it's still today, but at the time it was the highest, it was the most expensive Friday the 13th movie made. So this one, let's see. Here's one. Rob Zombie was offered to direct but turned it down to work on his pet project House of a Thousand Corpses, which, yeah, I've actually seen that movie. I don't like it though. I've seen House of a Thousand Corpses. I'm actually glad Rob Zombie didn't direct it, because I know some people don't like how he directs horror movies. Oh, the final script was clocked in at over 2.5 hours. Whoa, that's long. The producers brought in David S. Goyer to tighten it up a bit and reduce the time. Yeah, chronologically, the film is set after the events of Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, but before Jason X, which was released beforehand, as Freddy vs. Jason spent so long in development. Actually, I forgot to mention, Jason X actually came out a year before this, and it's just really weird, I guess, because they didn't know when it was coming out, and so they said, well, you know what, let's make a Jason movie, and I don't know. Oh, here we go. A sequel was planned but never materialized. Wildstorm did publish a 6-issue comic series in late 2007, early 2008. This added the Evil Dead Ash Williams to the mix. Yeah. I just hope one day they do make a sequel, but like I said, I don't know. I'm trying to find some more stuff. The scene in which Jason knocks down the 2 different doors at Western Hills is a reference to Jason X, where he knocks down multiple doors aboard the Grendel. Okay, this is something weird. Because the ending had to be reshot and Ken Kirsinger, who played Jason, was not available, Douglas Tate was cast in the role of Jason. His few days on the film were largely spent underwater. The crew discovered that when Tate was submerged, his clothes would cling to him and make him look less bulky. Tate had to bulk up with pads and stuff. Okay, never mind. Not counting the flashbacks, Freddy only kills one person in the film. Yeah, okay, sorry for this long review. This is probably my longest review. I'm hoping some people watch it. I hope you guys, I guess that's it. So I just want to apologize for this long review. I guess I could show you some of the stuff. Let me see here. Actually, get this little light here. You get widescreen and full screen versions of the film. So if you like either one, commentary by director Ronnie Yu, Robert Englund, and Ken Kissinger. Jump to a death menu option. Okay. Then disc 2 has deleted and alternate scenes, including the original opening and ending, with filmmaker commentary. Behind the scene coverage of film development, including screening, set design, makeup, stunts, and stuff. Visual effects restoration, storyboards and galleries. I think that's the one where you can read about the history of the script, original theatrical trailer and TV spots, and a music video, and some. Yeah. So yeah, the stuff is very interesting, especially the readings of it, and I think the documentary. I think, yeah. So I guess before I finish, if you can see, Freddy vs. Jason. Oop. There's a 2-disc. So you can see Freddy Krueger on the first one, and then Jason Voorhees on the second one. Yeah, like I said, I want to apologize for this long video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, and yeah, I just want to apologize once again. I know this was very long, but there's just so much stuff to talk about this movie, because this is like a bigger movie. Yeah. So this is probably going to be the only big movie that I'm going to talk about, because my next few movies are not really, like, I guess are kind of cult classics, or low budget or whatever. So so I just want to thank you guys for enjoying this, and stay tuned for my next movie, which should be up Friday. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. Bye.